Hi Trinity Rock and Pop drummers, hope you're well. Quick video for you here, talking you through Billie Jean from Trinity Rock and Pop drums, grade 1. Nice little version of this tune. It's a straight ahead, straight 8s type of feel. Some nice little drum fills made of quarter notes, 8s and 16ths, crotchets, quavers, semi-quavers. Here we go. So first things first, nice little groove, the straight 8s feel. Hopefully if you're into grade 1, you're cool with this beat. So much of this tune is about laying down that groove. If you can play that kick, snare, with your hi-hat playing 8th notes, you're in business here. So the intro and the verse is just that, over and over. First drum fill we get to, bar 10, end of the second line, we've got. So 8th notes all the way, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The little drum fill moment. Kick drum, 3 snare drums. So kick drum on the bottom space of the music, snare drum, what we call space 3. Musicians usually order the lines and spaces from the bottom of the stave upwards. So kick, and 3 snares. That bar with the drum fill, bar 10. Now one of the trickiest things when you first get playing with these, I think, is just not really necessarily even understanding the drum fill or learning it, but actually playing it smoothly, especially when the music's running. So what we like to do in the sessions here is just do a little bit of drill. So we groove along. Perhaps you'd play that whole line of music on a loop. You'd play 3 bars of groove, bars 7, 8 and 9, and then play that bar with the drum fill in it, bar 10. And then you loop back to the start of the line. I say this a lot in these videos, but it's such an important point. It's so tempting, and only human nature, I think, to just put on the music and start playing straight away. But you've got to spend a bit of time just wrapping your head around what's required first. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to play 7, 8, 9 and 10. In other words, the second line of the first page, round and round on a loop. Here we go. Last bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Take your time with that. Then we crash into the pre-chorus. People always told me. Great core skill for like grade 0, grade 1, or just when you get started playing the drums, is crashing at the start of a groove. So instead of this first time around here, we've got. If you didn't know already, the convention in drum music is if you've got a crash like this, written at the start of a bar of drum groove and then repeat marks, you don't do a crash on the subsequent repeats. That's just the convention. Next little drum fill moment we've got, bar 18, end of the 4th line, goes. So a couple of interesting things going on here. One is that the snare drum we'd expect to hit on beat 2 has changed to a kick, not quite sure why, but 1, 2, 3, as opposed to the normal 1, 2, 3, so watch out for that. We've then got beat 3, 3 and, the kick of the snare there, forming a little pair of 8th notes or quavers, 3 and. So here we've got a snare drum coming in earlier than we would expect in groove. So 1 and 2 and 3 and then another snare drum on beat 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. As that last one on beat 4 is a quarter note, a crotchet, we're done with that bar. Okay, same bit of drill, putting it into a bit of context that we had before. Let's play 15, 16, 17 and 18, and I'm going to loop it. Here we go, 4th line of the music on a loop. And 2 and 3 and 4. Hope that's cool. Then the chorus kicks in, same groove again. The big moment of note here is the fourth bar of the chorus. This is the last bar of the first page, and it goes. So nice simple one here. The first half of the bar is just groove. 1 and 2 and. The second half is a quarter note on beat 3 and 2 eighth notes on beat 4. 3, 4 and. Or a crotchet and then 2 quavers. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Here it comes in context from the start of the chorus, bar 19. And again. Okay, next bit, 23, continuation of the chorus, keep going on the groove. Another little drum fill on the fourth bar here. Bar 26, last bar of the second line, this goes. So first half is just regular groove, 1 and 2 and. You then got 3 and. Same little figure as you had on beat 3 in bar 18 over on the first page. 3 and, where the snare drum comes in on the and then that classic grade 1 figure of 2 16th notes and 1 8th note, 4E and, or 2 semiquavers, 1 quaver, 4E and, but, that we see all over the place at grade 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm going to play the first line of the second page on a loop. So I can't stress that enough. Figuring out what's going on, working out the count, the note values, and then just putting it in a bit of musical context, and especially looping it round and round. Brilliant way to get these going. Then a big change in the outro to the ride cymbal. Here we're changing 2 things. Your right stick, or lead stick, on the hi-hat is now going to move over to the ride. So. But also we're changing up the kick drum here. The kick on the second half of the bar, 3 and, rather than playing the regular quarter note or crotchet that we're used to, it's going to play 2 8th notes, 3 and. Hopefully, if you're studying grade 1, you've done some kind of warm-up sheet where you've got grooves of this sort on it. In fact, I'm going to link to my little version of this in the description. Check that out. Gives you like 5 or 6 grooves, classics for grade 1. So here comes this groove, bar 27. Sorry, 27. That kind of feel. When you get to bar 30, cool little drum fill here. Lots of changes again. The first half of the bar, 1 and 2. So it's still groove on the face of it, but now there's 2 kicks in the first half. 1 and 2. Now the second half of the bar here is a little drum fill. It goes straight 8th notes, 3 and 4 and that's going to be a kick with the ride cymbal. Snare drum on space 3 of the music, and then on space 2 below that, the floor tom. What I found the most sort of mixed up thing with guys at grade 1 reading the music or just interpreting the part is the floor tom and the kick. Watch out that you're hitting the floor tom here. Now, in my experience running these sessions here, that moment is the one. People often say it's the hardest. I'm not sure I like that language really. It's the one that just requires the most practice. It's like the most, maybe least instinctive, the one that just takes a bit more building up. That's a nice challenge for grade 1. I often think of it as the distinction moments, right? So if you're going in your grade 1 for a distinction, well, they kind of assume, I guess, that a lot of guys and girls going into these exams are going to play a nice steady groove and it's going to feel all right and they're going to vaguely play the drum fills. I always feel like there's one or maybe two moments in each song which are like, to some extent, distinction moments. Those moments where if a drummer's really done their practice and like worked hard and really engaged with this thing, they get a chance to show their skill. And I'd say this is it. It's that little bit more tricky. So what I'm getting at here is, in all likelihood, this will take you a bit longer than the rest of it to learn. And that doesn't mean that you're struggling. It doesn't mean that you're not very good at playing the drums. It means exactly what I just said, which is this is a little bit more tricky, a little bit more challenging for a grade 1 drummer. And that's fine. Everybody has to go through this process, man. That's what we're doing here. We're learning the drums. This channel wouldn't exist if everybody could just do everything straight away. So, take as long as you like with that. I'm going to go slow on that bar. This is bar 30. You can even take the individual bar and loop that. You might play just the bar before it and then that bar, so 29 and 30. And then from 27. Nice little moment. Again, to repeat, it's supposed to take a bit of time. Don't worry, don't panic, don't lose your stuff at grade 1, man. Save that for grade 8 when things get really, really tricky. But yeah, man, just take your time with it. It's supposed to take a while to put that one together. Okay, last line. Another little distinction moment I would say here in the second to last line. You come off the ride cymbal on beat 4. Beat 4 there is a quarter note, a crotchet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You stop playing there, you don't play the and. So the majority of people I found in these sessions will instinctively go. And what this is a little bit of a test of, I guess, at grade 1 is, can you follow the part? Can you do that the small subtle things like just coming off the ride there? Just lets it breathe a little bit and hang in the air just that little bit before, boom, we finish on that big hit at the end. The big hit at the end is a snare, a floor tom and a kick drum, all together, and the thing that looks like an arrowhead over the top is an accent. It means you play that note a little bit louder. So, a last line. Give it a good old whack at the end. Hope that's cool. That is Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, of course. Trinity Rock and Pop Drums, grade 1. Hope these videos are useful. Let us know if so, and see you soon. Thanks a million.